I'm in a Dirt magazine that released an issue collection book of the September through. I love this one. This is called The Light in the Sky.
Nice light.
Because you have to have your total solar eclipse references when you can. So, and I had to have a personal eclipse on the back cover.
Okay, hold that personal eclipse. That's it. We're almost there. Hang in. Slow camera. That's beautiful. Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to go browse now. This is filled with haiku and poems, so I'm just going to start to go through things in order until you're bored with me. Or something. I don't know what it is.
Just waiting for us to fall asleep.
This one is called Exterior. I tear at my flesh, ruin my exterior to reflect my soul. This one is called Soul, which is the last word of the last haiku. My spirit always caresses, warms, and supports, so your soul can fly. Earth for those who like to travel and see this great earth. Craters, mountains, plains, rattlers, bison, deer, and elk experience Earth. Lost, teasing, ridicule, trapped in this wretched cycle.
I like the short ones.
That's why I've given you many. Jumped. Black and blue, prisons surrounded me, so I jumped into the abyss. Essence. Transform the essence. Make the human inhumane. That reflects your soul.
Yep.
I'm going to do this a little bit longer here. This one is a poem that is called Exempt from the Draft. I'm not in a military family. My father, because of the size of his family he raised, was always exempt from the draft. But when the Gulf War started, I heard my friends saying that they wanted to sign up to fight, and I was nervous that they'd go, that they'd be taken away from me. I know that when you're young, you think you've got something to prove, and combat shows off your machismo, but everyone, because they're young, thinks they're invisible. And you're not. So lucky me, I'll stay here, and I didn't have to worry about all my chicks leaving their flock before their time.
Yeah.
But I waited for the announcement. But you came from a military family, Army, Navy, the Marines. And I hear stories of your father stationed in Europe, and I hear you tell stories of flying at night to other countries, ready to fight. And maybe I'm the one who likes to keep the ones I love too close to me. But all I can say is that I'm glad I didn't know you in your military days, because I'd worry too much that this is only one reason why I'm grateful that you're here with me today. It's strange when you see people in a military family.
Yeah, how did he cope with the relationships when he was fighting wars?
I don't know if he had. Well, I mean, it was years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what relationships he had while in the military.
Oh, right. How long have you been together?
17 years.
That's a good start.
That's a good start.
That's good.
You know,
I like
we'll get there.
You get there.
This one's called You Know What I'm Talking About, 2016 Grateful Edition.
Okay.
I have thought about you lately. I know it's been years since we have talked, and I know you probably hate me, and maybe you want something different in life, and maybe, just for a minute, I could be a nice diversion for you. Maybe I could tell you that maybe I can tell you that I've gone through a lot too, and maybe we could find consolation in each other. Because I remember those days. You were my beacon, you were my light at the end of the tunnel, and I will always be grateful to you for that. Friends would see your photo from my wallet, and they called you Superman. This 2-inch by 3-inch photo of you holding a newspaper in front of your grandparents' house in Florida in sun. Superman. Because maybe, after all this time, you would be able to be the kind of man that you never could be around me before. Maybe you could talk to me and say things that you couldn't tell anyone. Well, at least not in open places. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. I've always been grateful for the hope that you gave me when you made me feel like I was worth something. And I'm grateful for that. I will always thank you. Because my point is, I've been looking for things, and maybe, just maybe, you're looking for things too. Maybe I could be that for you. And maybe you could be that for me too. I have more longer ones here. Would you like me to share with you, or would you like
Why
to
not?
go?
That's what we're here.
All right. Well, this one you may have heard before, but this one's called Only an Observer. I know I'm supposed to be the creative one, but I started my schooling in engineering. I say I'm a writer. I say I'm an artist.
Did you finish engineering?
No, I started, but I switched majors.
Okay.
I said that wasn't for me, and I switched majors.
Right.
But I started off my schooling as an engineer. Yes, I did.
You know the Neruda poem, The Engineer Wants to Be a Poet?
Maybe the engineer is a poet, and they just don't know it.
Yeah.
And that's not meant to be a bad rhyme.
No, that's a good point.
I say I'm a writer, I say I'm an artist, but I haven't known what to say to you.
Oh, you're ready to check out?
But what I want you to understand is that if I were a painter, I'd be Michelangelo and paint my love for you like it was a Sistine Chapel, our hands touching in the sky, like it was our Last Supper. What am I saying? Painting like Michelangelo. I'd probably paint like Jackson Pollock, calling dripping and splashing art. Or maybe I'm not a writer. Maybe I'm not an artist. Maybe I'm an observer, like an astronomer, looking out into the universe, learning what makes everything, everything. Because molecule by molecule, we originate from stardust. But outer space is a violent place. Violent explosions create stars, and our Earth has earthquakes, avalanches, volcanoes, tsunamis, typhoons. And in all this madness, somehow, I found you. The journalist in me observed you. I came to you asking questions and broke your hardened shell. And with you, I've walked on the tops of glaciers, crouching down from the violent winds. And with you, I've watched the solar storms from the Arctic Circle and Aurora Borealis. And we've even seen them dance over Greenland from our window 40,000 feet in the sky. I've held your hand, the Great Wall of China. You followed me retracing Darwin's steps. You've steered me clear of rattlesnakes. You've shown me how to reload gun magazines and how to hold an AR-15. Because I've seen galaxies collide. I've seen comets smash into planets. I've seen supernova and the death of stars. And in all that, I've still found you. As I said before, I'm only an observer. But I've found what I've been looking for. And with these observations, I thee wed. And I'll tighten my grip on your hand, because I will never let you go.
And why did you leave the military?
I'll need more of these. I only got one. And
If he went to a longer thing, he would be put into a higher position that would leave him there for longer than he planned on staying in the field for that, and he didn't want to be in for that much longer. He was in the Army for a while, and he wanted to change his MOS, and they said, if you do that, you'd have to start from scratch. And he's like, well, that's not going to work for me. So he called the Navy or checked with the Navy, and they said, well, we can do this, but you'd have to do this and this first. And he's like, oh, so he's contacted the Marines, and they're like, oh yeah, you can change majors, but you'll have to go through boot camp again. And he's like, oh, well, that's nothing. That was a breeze for me to go through.
Right.
He was actually telling this story to his brother-in-law who retired from the Marines.
Okay.
And he's like, You thought it was a breeze to go through it a second time? And he's like, yeah.
Nothing, yeah. You knew what to expect.
You knew it wouldn't be so bad.
Wow.
Would you like to hear more? Would you like to go?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I've got some more haikus here. I don't know. See, this one's called Upside Down. And actually, there are some photos of bees by my husband on this page, actually. This one's called Upside Down. Look for salvation when the world seems upside down in strange twists of fate. This one's called Enjoy.
That was it? Just
They're
two
just
lines?
it's a haikus. Got some haiku forward for you. This one's Enjoy. Insanity, this side. Just let nature take its course and enjoy the ride. Too many people are political, right?
Very political, but it doesn't get anywhere.
Exactly. So just sit back and enjoy the ride. This one is called Imprisoned Ignorance. I am imprisoned on Earth's dirty side due to their ignorance. If you'd like, I'm going to do one short one. This one is called Masquerade. You asked me to the masquerade, and I willingly complied. But I'm tired of wearing this dress, for the feathers in my costume won't stop licking my face, and you cannot see the tears falling behind my mask. When you see the price they pay, I'm sure you'll come and join the masquerade, you say. But the price is too high, for I don't want to wear a mask with you, and I would only hope that I don't have to. I see another haiku here called Knife. I think this one is about that Marine you were talking about.
Okay.
He didn't want to pull the knife out, injuring him more. So he sat. You hear about things like that, like if I do something, it might make things worse. This one's, so it might be better until it's yeah. This one's called Ghosts. A poet in a cafe sees dead ancestors. Ghosts, stop haunting me.
Yeah, you seem to have the ghost of the accident, and the ghosts of inadequate lovers, and the ghosts of...
We all have ghosts.
No, but they're the ones that keep coming back through your poems.
It failed the test.
Powerful.
People don't like this one. They know somebody for this. This is called Easy.
Right.
I'm angry with you for taking the easy way out when death was your choice.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
This one is called, well, we talked about politics. I'll do this one for you. This is called Political Merry-Go-Round.
Sure.
Talked about something this side. Political
Chief
Merry-Go-Round.
Justice Ginsburg said, don't you? They said, what do you think of the Trump era? She says, I have confidence in the pendulum.
Exactly. So that's the way it goes. So it seems the people here think that things will change when presidents change and when parties change. But really, people will still complain because politicians never do what is best for the people, but what is best for their chances for re-election.
That's true.
So what else is new? You want to see change, but you don't realize that all your life you were on this political merry-go-round. You think the scenery is changing, but you're staying in place while spinning in circles.
That's the truth.
This one's called Falling, which has a jumping out of an airplane shot right above it. Falling.
So you've done that. You've done the parachuting thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you sort of just before you're about to pull it?
You know how rational I am.
Yeah. Very.
When it was like, well, time to go.
Right.
My brain turned to complete mush.
Wow.
Complete mush. I mean, I just kind of like did the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm like, okay. But I couldn't, my brain just, I apparently did everything right, but
couldn't
Your brain,
rationally
this was
process
just like
it.
the craziest thing I'm doing. Like, and so yeah, seriously, I was like, I didn't think I shouldn't do it or back out. It was just like, you just like, you shut off half of your brain. You're like, oh, and you just go. And I remembered what to do and everything. And it was fine, but that's what happened to me for the first time. Well, that was the only time. I don't know how other people do or what their thoughts are.
I had a similar thing on ultralight. You know what they are?
Ultralight?
Ultralight. They're a little small plane with like a motor mower engine, very small, and they go up to about 300 feet. And when I was up there, I realised this is not a place I want to be, because it's not like a glider. You know, I've been in gliders and I love them very much, but there's no plan B. You know, you fall, you die. That's it.
Which I haven't seen. They're not like the bodysuit things.
No. Ultralights are small engined.
So it's not like a glider.
No, it's not like a glider. It's sort of like open to the air. Wings, engine, tail, and the engine very, very low powered. So it gets up.
Do you come with a parachute with it in case?
No parachute. Which is why I realised
maybe this is not something I'll do.
Exactly.
Because having a parachute is probably important, because there was this haiku of falling.
Yeah, 2 parachutes.
2 of them in case one goes out. Falling from the sky, I can only hope I'll be landing on my feet.
Yeah.
I will share with you 2 haiku in 1 poem, and thank you. Zurich box with bars dehydrates my flesh, my soul. Quench me, set me free.
Oh.
This one last haiku is called Instead. We destroy value instead of fighting for it.
That's true.
It's just amazing.
Reminds me of the ruins thing. Vasilina Orlova is my Russian friend, and she's doing her thesis at UT on ruins, how the new ruins are deliberately made. In the old days, you would pay to see like Greek ruins and Roman ruins and the Colosseum. Go there. But what we're doing now is what we've done to Syria and Yemen and Somalia, making new ruins that no one wants to go to.
I think it's funny, I just happened to see something that Hitler, that this is weird because he had Albert Speer, this architect, and he was, and very fascinated with like Greek and Roman, and looked at these things, and he wanted to build for this new Germania, this great town, and he wanted to make sure that, if he had a 1,000-year Reich, buildings might not last that long.
Right.
He wanted to make sure that the buildings would look good even as they were being destroyed. Because we have these partially half-built buildings and we think they're beautiful and go to them. And he wanted his buildings to look good even when they were in ruin. Although at the end of the war, he didn't care about that. He was just like, destroy everything and let me kill myself.
Yeah.
Good times.
Not good.
I'm gonna end with this one.
Okay.
It was written for Earth Day this year. It's called Earth Was Alive and Dying. Oh yeah. Which is really cool when you've got the solar eclipse photo.
David, your offer's ready.
There's another eclipse coming up soon.
2024.
Yeah.
Coming through Austin. I'm gonna have T-shirts with this on it, saying Austin 2024.
Very, very good.
You know it. I'm gonna have a series of them. I will. It's called Earth Was Alive and Dying. I had a dream the other night. I walked out of the city to a forest, and there were neatly paved bicycle paths and trash cans every 50 feet, and trash every 10.
Yep.
And then I walked deeper into the forest, managed to get away from the picnic tables and the outhouses that line the forest edges. The roaring cars gave way, the rustling of tree branches, crackling of fallen leaves under my step. When the wind tunneled through, the wind whistled and sang as it flew past the bark and leaves. I walked, listened to the crack of dead branches under my feet, and I felt a branch against my shoulder. I looked up and I could hear the trees speak to me. And they said, "Thank you for letting the endangered animals live here amongst us. We do think they are so pretty, and it would be a shame to see them go. And thank you for recycling paper for just a little while, because you're saving us for just a little while longer. We've been on this planet for so long, embedded in the earth. We do have souls, you know. You can hear it in our songs. We cling with our roots. We don't want to let go. And I said, but I don't do much. I don't do much. I don't do enough. And they said, we know. But we'll take what we can get.
That's right.
And then I woke up in a sweat. Do you even know why we should save the rainforest? Oh, preserve the delicate balance. Just tear the whole forest down. What difference does it make? Put in some orange groves, or concentrate orange juice could be a little cheaper. Well, did you know that medical researchers have a very, very hard time trying to come up with synthetic cures for diseases on their own? At first, it helps them out if they can find a substance in nature. And a tree that appears in a rainforest with the cure might be the only one of its species, or one like it, maybe 2 miles away from it instead of right next to it. I wonder how many cures we've destroyed to plant more orange groves. Serves us right. Everything is linked here. We destroy our animals so we can be wasteful and violent. We destroy our plants. We destroy our earth. We're even destroying our air. We wreak havoc on the soil, on the atmosphere. We dump our wastes into our lakes. We pump aerosol cans and exhaust pipes. And you tell me I'm extreme. And these animals and forests keep calling out to me. The oceans, the wind. In the wild, you have no power over anyone else. Now that we're civilized, we create our own wild. Maybe when we have all this power, the only choice we have is to destroy ourselves. And so we do. Do you want a piece of good news based on this?
Please.
My husband's mother sang in choirs, and at one time she was going to an insane asylum, and she sang 2 songs there. One was about the trees. I talk to the trees, but they don't talk back. And everyone's like, oh my God, you sang that to these crazy people. She's like, they loved it. They loved it. And the other one, which I love to do, which is not related to that poem, is I love myself. I think I'm grand. I go to the show just to hold my hand. There's something about holding my, but when I get fresh, I slap myself in the face, you know. And there's a whole little song that she did, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the funniest thing. So those are my little
My grandmother
crazy.
used to go to asylums, and a pianist. She used to play piano for them.
Yeah.
And that's how I remember her as a point of light. It's just wonderful.
But that's not this one.
No.
Entirely different.
What is it?